divorce is dark for everyone who goes through
I mean, it was tough. I mean, for one, it was devastating. It's like, what is happening to my life? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because again, like you said, being married, and it's like I was doing what I was supposed to do.
Right. Oh, that's a word.
And now,
Okay, so let's fast forward a couple years. How did you guys end up in Southern California?
so he has a son that lives here in San Diego,
Okay.
and so we came out here in October of. Because I came here in August 2017, so this was 2016.
Okay.
We came in here for a conference in LA, and then we drove down to San Diego to surprise him and to see him. And so that whole experience of being here, I'm like, oh my God, this place is amazing. I loved it. And then we went to go see him at his school and everything, and we just felt like, you know what, like it would be better if we're closer to him.
Okay.
And we were recognizing too that he needed more support, to that extent for us to be there closer. And so we decided to come out here.
Okay.
And so it's like a year process of transition, and then we sold a lot of our stuff in Philly, packed up a truck and a little U-Haul, and drove from Philly to San Diego.
And here we are now.
Here we are.
So I met you playing in the basketball league
Yeah.
around that same month, or within probably 60 days of you guys moving here is when I met you. So to see who you were then and who you are now, it's been such.
She's seen all of it.
That's why I say it seems like we've been friends longer than
Yeah.
a few years, because we know so much about each other. And just to let me tell you something about California. When you move here, it is eye-opening and so freeing, and the freedom that it brings. It's so different. Not someone's probably looking at this and like, I'm never going to leave the small town in South Carolina. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that it's different. People are very different, and you are allowed to be who you are, and there's no judgment. There's 10 more people just like you. Maybe 30, maybe 40.
Yeah.
And they're all at the same place. And you're going to be like, oh my gosh, you look nothing like me. We're not from the same place. And you have a dope soul, and I want more of this.
Yeah.
So I will tell you, Cali brought that to me. It's like, girl, live your best life. And there's no judgment. If they're judging me, I don't know them. But so I know that's kind of probably a little bit of your experience too. So when you guys came here, you had been married how long? 7, 8 years at this point?
Mm-hmm.
Everything was smooth and going great
for
the most part. No serious issues that you thought of.
No.
And then one day it was just different.
Yes.
I need you to explain that to everybody.
So we moved here August 2017, and October of 2017.
A couple months.
We were on the way back from our storage unit where we had just dropped some stuff off, and we were in the car. And, like couples have an argument or whatever, and I'm like, all right, so what do we do? And he just said, well, I'm at a crossroads right now, this whole thing. I'm like, you mean a crossroad like at the stoplight right here? The crosslight of, what are you talking about? A crossroad. So I'm like, and he said this whole thing, us being together. It's like, we just left the storage unit of where all our stuff is, and now we're about to go back to this apartment that we just leased. The timing wasn't exactly, good, if you will, but yeah, he basically then sat down again, and I said, well, we talked again once we got back home, and he says, yeah, I don't want to be married anymore. And there wasn't a whole bunch of explanation with that and all that, and but that's what he told me. That's when everything just was like, whoa. Got this new lease. The lease is 3 times as expensive as it is in Philly. And in Philly had a 3-story place. You know what I mean? Here it's like a 2-bedroom apartment. 3 times as expensive.
We just told them how great it is here. Let's slide that in. Yes.
It's beautiful with a price that is well worth the price.
Yeah, we pay a lot for the sun and the beach and for the freedom. So don't just think you having $1,000 in your account, you can be We walk outside and it costs $100 to breathe. Don't you go get a coffee. That's $105. You need gas? We at $160. You haven't even left your neighborhood yet. You just breathing and got a coffee and a muffin.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
But that's why I think for like you said, the people that we meet here, it's so different, and we all share that, but it's like we're all either entrepreneurial or we're professionals, and we're just really good, at what we do. And we're well worth every penny that we're paid to give that value. So
you gotta be here.
Come out here if you got some value. That's all I say. You won't have a problem.
You even gonna question your value. You're gonna start to question your value too. And be prepared to get another hustle if you need one.
Yes.
Because that's what you're paying for. No, we don't live in Hollywood. They think we look like Hollywood here. I'm like, no, it's not Hollywood, but it comes. Your peace comes at a price here. Yeah.
But I love it. I mean, being able to go to the beach whenever, you know what I mean, like just to sit and just experience it. It's amazing. Yeah. I say every day I feel like I'm in a movie. That's what it's. You get in the car, you're seeing the hills, and you're seeing all. It's like, man, this is like that scene in that movie, and I'm just like, oh, this is great. You know.
Yeah. So maybe looking back and him not wanting to be married anymore. I don't know if it's in California. Well, it could have been the California sun that he needed a little more freedom. You will have the feel of freedom up in this place.
Well, I think that's what happened. I think it was just this feeling of liberation that he felt that he needed in terms of understanding more about who he is. You know what I mean? So to this day, I told him this. I said, I promise never to disrespect you.
Of course.
And I thank him for the courage that he had to liberate himself, because I wouldn't have had that. Again, thinking about tradition, you stick it out. You know what I mean? 30, 50 years, kids, the whole thing. You do it because it's what you're supposed to do.
Because we've been trained. You know how I feel about enduring painful relationships. And I remember that point in your relationship and how I would be like, Parshell, like, you are better than this. I remember giving her that speech like, you are not an option. If you don't want to be married, you're not going to wait for him to pick you up. I was like, he's just putting you on the back burner and he's going to pick you up. And I was like, no ma'am, you are not on the stove. Let him go be free. But it is hard if we want to touch on that, because that's a part of religion too. I think that's been my personal experience of we're supposed to just fight it out constantly, and it's painful, but this is what I signed up for, and I don't want to disappoint my family or God or my husband. I don't know, you kind of want to touch on that a little bit, what your emotions were when you were going through that.
That was hard.
Yeah.
That was really, really hard.
How just choosing yourself was hard. Because you were waiting for him to be like, yes, I want this. I remember those conversations of, you needed him to be the leader of it. And I was like, Parshell, you're your own leader. Like, just reassuring you that you're not an option. Like, you are it. Like, you bring the table, sis. We're not meeting at the table. You bring the table, just reminding you of that. But after going through the John the Con situation and how we talked about, enduring painful relationships, it comes back to how we grew up in the church and the fear of just what we've been conditioned to believe and how you can't turn your back on that. And I think that plays out a lot in a lot of adults that we know. I know those were some dark days for you, and I don't know if you want to go into it, but divorce is dark for everyone who goes through it.
I mean, it was tough. I mean, for one, it was devastating. It's like, what is happening to my life? You know what I mean?
Right.
Because, again, like you said, being married, and it's like I was doing what I was supposed to do.
Right. Oh, that's a word.
And now this is like, I can't, now I've, like, everything is messed up. So there was a lot of, a lot of shame with that, and a lot of just, it was tough. It was tough. And now with this new place and, like, what am I going to do? Thinking about my business and all, like, everything. It was tough. It was really, really tough.
And his parents are still married, and then your parents are still married. That's a whole different component.
And then I'm the oldest, you know what I mean? And, both of my siblings are in marriages, and they have children. Like, I have no children. Now my marriage is, is no more. And the thing with having kids is another conversation, perhaps, for at some point. But long story short with that is that, again, what you're supposed to do. Next thing was to have a child. And so it wasn't, and this is going to sound interesting, but it wasn't until I expressed gratitude for the fact that my body would not produce children at that time. Because I was told I had PCOS and whatever, and that, periods are irregular, and they've always been irregular. But it wasn't until, you get married that, you start thinking about having kids. And it wasn't until I had gratitude for the fact that my body would not produce children at that point that my periods came back, which is crazy.
Come on now.
I mean, along with all this wonderful sun and more green that we eat out here, you know what I'm saying? Like, all of that. And so now my body functions more balanced. you know, as far as hormones. But there was a lot of shame going through that I could not have a child. It was like, damn, I can't give this relationship the next part of what's supposed to happen.
Right. The checkoff list that a lot of people chase. Someone's viewing this right now that has a checkoff list, or probably struggling with what they've been conditioned to believe to be true. What should come next.
And without asking yourself, what is it that I want?
That's a word.
What is it that
do I really want these things, or do my parents want me to have these things? Do my siblings want me to have these things?
Or what you think God wants for you to do. You know what I mean? And a lot of what we've understood about God has been what somebody told you to believe about God.
Yeah, what we've been conditioned
and
to
what you're
believe.
supposed to do.
Yeah.
So when all these things happened, it was like all these things just started to crumble.
Right.
You know what I mean? You know, when he said he didn't want to be married anymore. But like I said, all I could do is have just total I have so much gratitude in this moment that we did not have children.
Yeah.
Are you kidding?
Getting there, though, that's a whole nother chapter.
Getting there
How
is
you
something
get to
different.
gratitude, because when you're living it and you're in it, you don't understand.
Yeah.
And you're on your own head. You are self-doubt.
Yeah.
You have the worst self-esteem. You have a list of why you don't deserve, or this happened to you. But let me, sis, stop. Throw the list away. Throw the check boxes. Throw all that away and live your life.
Yes. Ask what you want.
Find what truly makes you happy.
Yes.
That's the key.
That's it.
And once you have that part of your brain open, you see things so different. But so he asked for the divorce, and you finally got to a place where you guys separated.
Separated, but still living together.
You sure did.
Yeah, because that rent was high. And, you know, who knows? It could have been his, you know, a plan of sorts. I don't know. But, you know, we had the lease for a year, and, you know, it was, yeah. Where are you going to go? I guess maybe didn't think that part out, or whatever.
And you was
being
nice, Parcell? Like, okay.
Yeah, I was nice. Like,
he's still your friend.
Yeah.
Like, I care about him.
Yeah.
Which says a lot just about your heart. Because
Yeah.
I know so many of us other ones would have been like, well, do we need to, I think I may even ask you, do I need to come box his stuff up? Like, I'm a real friend. Like, what we doing next?
You did ask that. He's like,
so do we give him to the first of next month? Like, how many, you giving him 60 days, 90 days?
You did ask me that. And I was like, well, you know, we're both trying to figure it out, I guess, like, in terms of what to do. But at that point I said, well, you just need to take the other room.
Yeah,
you know?
You had another bedroom.
And you will be required to pay half this rent up in here.
So as you guys transition out of your marriage and you more onto yourself and what made you happy, I kind of want to talk about sexuality, because you went through something really big. You know, I called him the dead body. I was like, Parcell, you literally have a dead body in your house. Like, how often are we going to go visit the dead body? And you'd be like, but it's my friend. And I'm like, isn't it odd that you have a dead body on your couch? I understand it's your friend, but he had access to you. That's the part, as your friend, I was like, wait, how are you able to move on when the dead body, which is truly him just having access to all of your greatness, at what? What is he giving to you? What are we doing? Yes, a friend is nice, but what are we giving in our friendship? It should be a give and receive, not just one who's constantly giving. That's why I was like, let me help you help him.
Yes.
Move.
Yeah.
How can I help you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So,